And good morning, dear ones. Robert Brzezinski with you. Today is the 3rd of May, and I've got my dear friend, Reverend Kathy Mastroianni, with me. Hello, Kathy.
Hello, Reverend Robert. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. It's another beautiful Sunday here in Colorado, that's for sure.
It's beautiful.
It's the last couple of days have been a little gray and overcast here, and today waking up to see the sunshine again was really, really fun. So, all right, let's fill everybody in on how all this works, folks. So welcome and thank you for joining us. The show is called Morning Prayers, and we also do one in the evening called Evening Prayers. That happens about 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time. This program happens every morning at 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time. And it's always a pleasure when Reverend Kathy's with us. She's been with us before. Reverend Kathy is the director of the Science of Mind Archives and Library. You know, it is such a wealth of spiritual information and spiritual resources and spiritual food and nourishment that I know that I think Kathy would probably like to see everybody in the world think of the archives first when you're thinking about where do I find a resource, or where do I find that quote, or what is a deeper meaning around something that's happening in your life. So we're grateful you're with us, Reverend Kathy, and you were going to share something with us this morning, I believe, before we pray.
You bet. How neat to have our founder of Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes. I mean, he really synthesized this incredible wisdom of all the faith paths, and the archives is really honored that we've been digitizing a lot of things, and so you can actually go to iTunes and listen to Ernest Holmes. We have his radio shows, this thing called Life, and there's a few other weird ones out there, but if you look for this picture, you'll know you have the one from the archives, and you look up this thing called Life, Ernest Holmes, on iTunes, and I think even Amazon Digital. But it's just to hear Ernest Holmes' voice, can really help you deepen into the spiritual wisdom. And in our prayers today, I'm also going to share from the Extension Study course. So Ernest actually took the textbook and went step by step, almost page by page, and explained the deeper wisdom of his teaching in the textbook. And so I'm going to start with a beautiful meditation from Ernest and then flow into our morning prayer.
Wonderful.
So thank you. It's a great resource, and I thank you.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get started there then. That sounds like a great way to dive in this morning. So here's how we'll set this up, folks. Reverend Kathy will get started. As she said, she's going to share a reading with us and then flow right into the prayer. At some point along the way, Spirit will say, okay, send that over, and she'll send it my way, and I'll pray for a minute or two, and then we'll wrap this up and get you off to your morning services for the morning. So, Reverend Kathy, please take us away.
All righty. Well, let's just take a moment and take in that sacred breath. That breath of infinite spirit. That inspiration that flows through our body so easily, so effortlessly. And with every breath, just take it a little deeper. Quieting the mind. Moving from our thoughts to our heart. Connecting to that God presence within. And now I shall share from our friend, Dr. Ernest Holmes. As I center my consciousness in infinite being, I realize that its essence is love, and that this love is in and through everything and everyone. I know that this love essence, the very substance of life, the creative principle back of everything, flows through my whole being, spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. It flows in transcendent loveliness into my world of thought and form. I am conscious of this divine circuit, which love is. I feel it is a golden stream of force flowing from God through me and out to all that my thought rests upon, returning to God. I know that this force is ever flowing, ever renewing, vitalizing, bringing joy and harmony and blessing to everything and everyone it touches. I consciously attune myself to the stream of perfect love. In its flow, I see it as an ever widening spiral of continuous right action, bringing me into the ever widening fields of expression. I, who am love, share myself, my love, with all humanity. I know that in love there can be no separation, for love unites. Love sustains and protects its own. I know that the love I express blesses all who are in any way touched by it. It heals every condition and brings my own to me. I am immersed in love. And so just breathing in these words of love, this prayer of love. I know that this prayer of love flows through each one of us into our hearts and into our world, that this day is blessed in every way, and that no matter what each person who is listening here, whatever your experience is, I invite you just to take a moment and to pull that experience from your head to your heart and to fill it, surround it, and immerse it in love. And feel that love. And with love and gratitude, I pass my word to Reverend Robert.
And I do feel that love, that sense of love, that vibration of love, that giddy feeling of knowing that all is well, that everything's happening exactly as it must. That amongst this great and glorious experiment called life, there are countless ways to love and countless ways to cry out for more love. And that's what I see and experience in the world right now, is a paradigm where both people are, everyone is crying out for more love and looking to express more love at the same time. There's a both and happening here, an opportunity to both be loved and be loved, to allow more love in and radiate that love out into our worlds as well. And so I claim for each one that hears these words, now or at another time, I claim for each a sense, a real deep sense of knowing there is only love. That this one life in the universe, this life called God, this life that is my life, that is your life, that is all life, is a life that is loving. God is a loving God. There is no vindictiveness, there is no division, there is no revenge in the mind and the heart of God, of the one, of the allness. There is that ever pouring, unconditional expression of absolute divine love. And so I invite each one here today to feel that vibration, to say yes to the vibration of love, to the expressions of love, to say yes to the calling of love, to say yes to the grand and glorious experience that is love, and then share that with everyone you encounter. Share that love into the world with everyone you see, everyone you connect with, everyone that comes into your awareness. Yes, even the politicians, even those we may not agree with. To recognize that everyone on this planet and beyond is a divine expression of God's life. And it's absolutely vital to the evolution of human consciousness. And so again, today I choose to radiate and vibrate as love. especially to those I may not agree with, especially to those that the humanness does not understand or comprehend or see as different or other. To set all of that humanness aside today and to see the divine light of love that is at the core, at the center, as the very beingness, as the very energetic vibration that animates everyone. For at the end of the day, it's all love. How much love we create and how much love we accept. So I am in this moment just grateful. Grateful to be in this vibration of love and light and beauty. Grateful to share this experience with all that can hear. Most especially grateful to know that God's got this. And so there is no need to worry about how or when or why any of this comes into form. I just rest in the deep, deep knowingness that God's got it. And so I can let it be. I can let go and let God be God. And I do just that. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, dear ones, for being with us. That's always a great way to get started in the morning.
Absolutely.
Now, we do want you to know how to stay in touch. So Reverend Kathy has a Facebook page. You can catch her on Facebook, and she's been tagged in this post. So you should be able to find her name right at the top of this post on Facebook. Click that and check her out. And on the archives, the Science of Mind Archives and Library, and their Facebook page is right there as well. Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, following Facebook, or on the web at ticker going across on the bottom there. Scienceofmindarchives.com is a great way to be a part of what's going on up at the archives. And I'll tell you, folks, really, it's I use the archives. I'm a member. I'm contributing, and it's a great way to dig in and find the history. And I will say, be cautious, because it can turn into a rabbit hole of, oh, look at this, and oh, look at this, and oh, look at this. The next thing you know, you're reading like all kinds of stuff from the 20s and the 30s and the 50s and all over it's really fun to hang out on their website. So I encourage you to check it out for sure.
Thank you, Reverend Robert, and thank you for your beautiful show. Thank you for your amazing marathon you did on Friday, and just for your heart and your beautiful consciousness that you share with all of us, so people can start their day in prayer, end their day in love and prayer. I'm grateful for you and all you're doing for our world, and your New Thought Radio too. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you, dear one. Thank you. That just sparks a grand idea. I think the radio station needs to do an interview with Reverend Kathy and maybe share some earnest recordings. So Reverend Kathy, if you weren't with us on Friday, we did this big marathon gig and we started it all off. Reverend Kathy was our very first guest, and she brought a meditation by Ernest Holmes on audio for us. And I don't know if you caught that throughout the day, but we were able to play that a couple more times throughout.
Excellent, good.
And shared that with later segments of the audience as well, so they got to hear Ernest's voice. And that was a recording I hadn't heard, so I was real happy to hear that one. That was a lot of fun. So thanks again for being
wonderful.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, folks, there it is, the bottom of the hour. We've completed another morning prayer session. I thank you so much for being with us. I'll be back tonight, 8:15 p.m. on Mountain Time. And I'm pretty sure that we'll get Reverend Kathy to come back and join us again in the future as well.
It'll be fun. All right.
Thanks.
Blessings.
Love y'all. See you again soon. Bye now.